All right, Daniel chapter 12, 3 and 4. We'll pick up right where we left off. Verse 3. Those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament, and those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Those who are wise. What does it mean to be wise? Because I'd say that's probably a good thing, right? They shall shine, it says. In these times that we are living in, so much information and disinformation disguised as truth. What is it to be wise? To be wise about the times we're living in. To be wise would be to have wisdom. In Psalm 111:10, it says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So that's where it begins to be wise. Revering God, acknowledging Him, honoring Him. He is God, Creator. There is none besides Him. It starts there. Contrast this to the wisdom of the world, which many around us all day long profess to be wise. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 3:19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. God's wisdom, infinite wisdom, is not even on the same playing field as ours. Only a fool would say such a thing, or even think it. I'd say, and it's probably true, the opposite of being wise is being a fool. In Psalm 53:1, it says, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. So to say there is no God or to disregard God is foolishness and not wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 3:19. But the verse right before that, 1 Corinthians 3:18 says, let no one deceive himself. If anyone among you seems to be wise in this age, let him become a fool that he may become wise. Yes, recognize, acknowledge there is a God and you are not Him. Recognize there is a knowledge far above yours. Also in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, it says, because the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. Yes, Daniel 12:3, those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament. It goes on to say, and those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. Talking about being wise and shining, Jesus gave a good descriptive parable along these lines, and I think they're very relevant for the times in which we're living and for this verse right here. So let me find it real quick and we'll do it. All right. Matthew 25, 1 through 13, I think it is. I'll just read it. Then the kingdom of heaven shall be likened to 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. Now 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. Those who were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. But while the bridegroom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight a cry was heard, behold, the bridegroom is coming. Go out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out. But the wise answered, saying, no, lest there should not be enough for us and you. But go rather to those who sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came. And those who were ready went in with him to the wedding, and the door was shut. Afterward, the other virgins came also, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, assuredly, I say to you, I do not know you. Watch therefore, for you know not neither the day nor the hour in which the Son of Man is coming. Wow. There's a lot right there. We right now are living in the days, I believe, where the Son of Man, Jesus himself, may be calling up those who are saved, and the things described throughout the scriptures, particularly like in the book of Revelation and such, are beginning to happen today, right before our eyes. So we ought to be like these wise virgins and be ready. They demonstrated wisdom in action. That would be wise of us. So yeah, Daniel 2:3. Those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament, and those who, what is it? And those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. Those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. This reminds me of James chapter 5, 19. 19 and 20, I think, 2 verses. Brethren, if any among you wanders from the truth and someone turns him back, let him know that he who turns a sinner from the error of his way will save a soul from death and cover a multitude of sins. Helping someone who hasn't been walking in righteousness, in faith, struggling in life, fearful of the times in which we live, coming alongside them and helping them, we will shine like the stars. It's a wise thing to do. Wisdom in action. In Proverbs 11:30 it says, he who wins souls is wise. So we're learning what being wise is. Helping others. First, having that fear, the reverence of God, and now helping others. Man, it's describing love. Daniel 12:4 now. But you, Daniel, shut up. Let me read it. Hang on. But you, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. This is where this chapter really starts to pick up. Daniel, shut up the words written down, and seal it. This same command was given to the Apostle John when he was writing the book of Revelation. The angel said, hey, don't write that, John. And John answered, 10:4, buddy. No, he didn't. But yeah, Revelation 10:4. Now it says, let me read it. Hang on. All right, 10:4. Now when the 7 thunders uttered their voices, I was about to write. This is John speaking. But I heard a voice from heaven saying to me, seal up the things which the 7 thunders uttered, and do not write them. Now, when the 7 thunders uttered their voices, John was told, don't write that. Don't write it down. Seal it up. So there are things, some of these things that these guys saw and learned were shown by God or told by God, or by Gabriel, that was not to be revealed until the later times. I'm of the opinion that these things, I don't believe even Satan knows about. I think there's part of the playbook it's not revealed to everybody. That's why he so often is found, like back in chapter 10 of Daniel. Was it 10 or 8? I think it might be 8. The prince of Persia tackled Gabriel and fought with him, trying to get the information out of him. Yeah, I think it was chapter 10. To prevent Gabriel from delivering that message to Daniel. It was apparently important stuff. So seal up this part of the book until the time of the end. Yes, until the time of the end. When is the time of the end? We could study that one forever. It very well could be what Daniel described in chapter 8. That's where chapter 8 was in my mind. Which after Gabriel shared this with Daniel, it made him literally sick to his stomach for days. And I will end with this. I'm going to read it. Before we move into Daniel chapter 12 and 5, we'll do next time. But let me just end with Daniel 8 here. Hang on. Because I think this part of Daniel is very descriptive of what's going on today. But I'll just read it quick, but I think these are the things that are going to be happening in these days. Chapter 8, Daniel 15. Then it happened when I, Daniel, had seen the vision and was seeking the meaning, that suddenly there stood before me one having the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Ulai, who called and said, Gabriel, make this man understand the vision. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid, and I fell on my face. But he said to me, understand, son of man, that the vision refers to the time of the end. There's that time of the end. Now he was speaking with me. I was in a deep sleep with my face to the ground, but he touched me, and I stood upright. And he said, look, I am making known to you what shall happen in the latter time of the indignation. For at the appointed time, the end shall be. The ram which you saw having two horns, they are the kings of Media and Persia. And the male goat is the kingdom of Greece. The large horn is between his eyes, the first king, and as the broken horn and the four that stood up in its place, the four kingdoms, shall arise out of that nation, but not with its power. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressions have reached their fullness, a king shall arise, having fierce features, who understands sinister schemes. His power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy fearfully, and shall prosper and thrive. He shall destroy the mighty, and also the holy people. Through his cunning he shall cause deceit to prosper under his rule, and he shall exalt himself in his heart. He shall destroy many in their prosperity. He shall even rise against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without human means. And the vision of the evenings and the mornings which was told is true. Therefore, seal up the vision. He was told to seal it up again. For it refers to many days in the future. And I, Daniel, fainted, and I was sick for days. Afterward I arose and I went about the king's business. I was astonished by the vision, but nobody understood it. Yeah. Daniel, shut up the words, seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Yes, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. In these last days, many shall run to and fro. Reminds me of Ephesians 4:14. It says that we should no longer be children tossed to and fro, carried about by every wind of doctrine, by the trickery of men and the cunning craftiness of deceitful plotting. There's a lot of bad stuff being spread out there. The news media, books, music, even in the churches today. False doctrine, disguised as good. Many are caught up in the lie. So, we will see this stuff more and more as that day draws near. But we are to be wise. We are to study the scriptures, being ready to give an answer to those who ask us about our faith. To turn those back who are stumbling, back to their Savior. Hook a brother up. Just keep our lamps full of oil. Always be looking for him and having ears to listen. Yes, I believe we're in the last days. I think a lot of this, what Daniel's writing about, we can see it all around us right now. Right now. So yeah, that's Daniel 12, 3 and 4. We'll pick up at 5 next time. Till then, see ya.